It's Dr. Trish Leigh, and I'm back to share with you the 4 main categories of information that you will see in your home brain map from Leigh Brain and Spine or drtrishleigh.com. The categories are broken down into alpha performance, beta performance, left-right symmetry, and theta ratios. And in the alpha performance category, there's 6 different parameters we will look at. In beta, there are 2. In left-right symmetry, there are 5. And in the theta ratios, there are 9. And let me explain to you what they are. In alpha performance, what we are looking at is the brain's ability to, first of all, use a peak frequency for calm focus and for the ability of your brain to be able to recover and get into a calm mode. So it's mostly about calmness and about mood stability. When we're looking at beta performance, we're looking at your brain's ability to be focused, to be sharp enough to be productive, to be able to focus on task without feeling overly anxious or stressed out. Beta is also a marker of stress or anxiety or overdrive, as I like to call it. So we're going to be looking at some parameters that have to do with stress and anxiety. And honestly, stress and anxiety rolls over from beta performance also into alpha performance. So when we're in the alpha parameters, we will also be looking at how stress impacts the ability of your brain to be calm and the ability of your brain to recover from thinking or being anxious. That's an aside. Okay, left and right symmetry is our brains are supposed to use a natural imbalance or asymmetry of speed. So the brain is supposed to run a little bit faster in the left hemisphere. It's supposed to use more beta, and it's supposed to run a little bit slower in the right hemisphere using more alpha. And that is what creates the perfect asymmetry to be able to think sharply and to be able to maintain a positive mood. Symmetry usually has to do with mood volatility, emotional regulation, and if it's off, if it's very asymmetrical, especially in some specific areas in the frontal lobe, we will see that it is a marker of depression, and that's proven by science. I'm just the messenger. So we will be able to look at some of those parameters and think about what's going on there. Theta ratios, the reason that there's so many categories likely is because theta gets a bad rap. The poor brain speed really does get a bad rap. When it's being used well, it is designed to be able to shift your brain into sleep. Unfortunately, the reason it gets a bad rap is because for many people, it's being used irregularly or improperly. So if too much theta is being used, that's the biomarker for ADHD. We also see it as a culprit in burnout, and especially after being a brain being in a chronically anxious state for a while, it will start using excessive amounts of theta because it's exhausted and it hasn't been able to use alpha to recover. And what happens is that will give people memory issues, cognitive decline, cognitive challenges that they can be very disruptive to memory and thinking, and that people really feel like they've come out of the blue, but it's from using a chronically anxious pattern for a long time. So we're going to look at all of these parameters to be able to think about what they mean for you and for how you feel and perform. And within each of these parameters, we're going to be looking at multiple brain sites. So we're going to look at the frontal lobe, which we know is for focus and attention, executive function and planning, impulse control and judgment. It's for socialization. It's for staying calm. The anterior cingulate gyrus is in there for being able to focus. It's implicated in addictions. So we're really going to think about that frontal lobe. Then we're going to look at the central lobe, sensory motor cortex, sensory processing challenges. It can also impact emotional regulation skills. We're going to look in the back of the brain, which is important for recovery and being able to have that brain using the proper speed for calm focus. So we're going to look at multiple brain areas as well. Okay, follow me through to the next video on alpha performance, and we're going to look at all those parameters in the next video so you can understand that if you have 66% like I do in terms of alpha performance, what that would actually show up for you in your life and how that would impact you. And then in the end, we're going to think about what can you actually do to improve these parameters. I'm going to give you some tips, but at the same time, if you haven't been able to improve the way you feel and perform, then home neurofeedback brain training is likely the best solution for you. But stay with me because I'm going to give you tips so that you know what you can do in the meantime. But if they don't work, give me a call or email me at info@drtrishleigh. I'm always happy to chat and I'm always happy to help. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.